Hello and welcome to another edition of Dr. Ced Says This About That. I am Dr. Cedric Wood and I'm right here for you on December the 5th, 2025, right here in my office. Come see me sometime. What am I going to talk about today? There are so many things to comment on in the news. Right now we're seeing over and over again talking about how Secretary of Defense or Secretary of War, whichever, Pete Hegseth ordered or did not order the second strike on a boat. Evidently, two of the young men on this particular boat weren't killed in that explosion. They were hanging on to the boat. And so it seems to be really cruel to shoot another bomb at it to make sure we kill them. Well, I mean, we're killing all of them anyway. They just lucked out. And so it has to tug at your heart. You know, these are young men that are trying to make a living. They might have a wife and children at home. They might have aging parents at home that they're trying to make money so they can buy them food, put a roof over their head, send them to school. I mean, it could be true. We haven't heard one story about one young person, one man from where? Venezuela, that was blown up when we sent these bombs their way. Now the question is it justified? Well, I have people in my office and they tell about how their ex or maybe how they're struggling currently with drugs, cocaine, and it's terrible. It is terrible. So young people die all the time. We don't want that anymore. And so many more are greatly damaged by using these drugs year after year in their heart, their mind, their soul, their psyche. They're damaged. They don't think quite right. They don't behave quite right. They might have to go see the doctor. They might have to go into the psychiatric unit at the psychiatric hospital and get treatment. They might have to come in for therapy, which is fine. That's great. But some of the damage is a done deal. They'll never completely get back to where they were before they started using cocaine and meth. So it's tragic when I hear these stories in my office. And so I think 99% of all Americans are in favor of stopping the boats with the cocaine on it. Now what's hard is that there are young men that are being blown up and killed. And so their family not only never see them again, they can't even have the body to lay in a coffin and then have a funeral and a service, a memorial service with them there. And that's got to be heartbreaking. So here's the deal. Pete Hegseth keeps coming back with his explanations and his defenses. And what I'm noticing is there's no healthy communication involved. It reminds me of my step 1, step 2 handout right here. This is step 1 here. It's all the right things. These are all the techniques that you should say when? First. And then you can't help but go to step 2, which is all the things that I want to say to you. I'm going to read choice 4 and 7 in step 2. 4, give advice and correct the other person what they're doing. Number 7, defensively explain your point of view. Well, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is doing that over and over again. I'm going to explain my point of view. Okay, that makes sense. In step 2, question, what is step 1? What is the first thing you should be saying? Let me see if I can just take a run at it. The first thing you should say is, we want to send out condolences to all the families, all the parents, all the children of the men we have killed in the boats. I know it must be very hard. It's always hard to lose somebody. Maybe the patriarch of your family, who knows? And we've had to kill them, and we're sorry that we had to do that. And then they might go into a thing of, I know this is very disturbing to many Americans that are saying, don't do this. It's not worth it. You don't know if they're really criminals and drug runners. Well, okay, that's not gaining too much steam because it's pretty obvious. I mean, what would be a slender boat with 4 powerful engines on the back racing across the Caribbean? What else would that be but drug runners? So Pete Hegseth could be saying that I know this is disturbing to so many of our colleagues, our fellow citizens here in America. It is disturbing. We wish we didn't have to do it. We don't want to do it anymore. All that has to happen is we send our planes out over the ocean and there's no boats there. Wouldn't that be great? That's what we want. We don't want anybody else to be killed. Please stop sending boats full of cocaine. Cartels in Venezuela, stop sending that over. We don't want those drugs here. And after that opening, now all that might be step one, kind of fading into step two. Step two is then you go into your position and what you remember from seeing the boat and the decision you made and the order you sent or did not send. That's okay. Go ahead. The point of this recording tonight is the fact that there seems to be a complete absence, President Trump, are you listening? An absence of words that show compassion and sympathy and understanding to the other side of the aisle or the other side of the podium where all the news reporters are asking these pointed questions. Lean into their questions and their sympathy and their concerns and say, yes, this is a terrible situation and we're hurting that we're having to do this. We don't want to do this. And so anybody who is upset about it, we get it. So we're going to try to do everything we can to stop these killings and blowing up these boats that are racing over to America. We're going to try to do everything we can to stop that so that there'll be no more deaths. That's our hope. That's our plan. Pete Hegseth, you went to Harvard University and got a master's degree in public policy? I'm sure you're using a lot of things that you learned there, but didn't they teach you healthy communication? Step one, step two, start off with saying things that are music to the other person's ears. Show them that you understand what they're feeling and wishing for. That is healthy communication. Even if you have to switch to step two and say, however, we're going to continue stopping these boats because we don't want these terrible, damaging drugs here in America. Okay? Listen, give it a try. I'm going to be watching your next newscast and how you answer the questions. I'll be watching. Thank you for tuning in. This is Dr. Cedric Wood. Give me a call if you have any questions. 214-394-4040. Goodbye for now.